So I'm going to tell you the title of the picture, and you're going to tell me if it matches the mood of the picture.
Teresa Felton is a volunteer at Hearthwood Elementary School. She has a very specialized purpose. She works in the Art Discovery Program. It's a way of helping young students learn and have access to the world of art. The experience is very much like this piece of artwork created by French painter Henri Matisse. It's open and creative.
Today we learned about how Henri Matisse cut his paper and created his art with his paper, a collage. Just like Henri Matisse did, he would lay out all of his cutout shapes and his textures and his lines and his patterns, and he would make a background. He called it drawing with scissors. And so then he would cut out his shapes, his textures, and his patterns and everything with all of his pieces of paper. He'd lay them into place and then create his focal point.
And then, fresh with some of the greatest artwork in their young minds, Felton had the students try to make their own collages.
They cut out their backgrounds, they made backgrounds, and they cut out abstract guitars, and then they pasted it all together in layers, which was then turned out to be a collage like Henri Matisse would make.
The students' artwork doesn't conform to strict requirements or standards, but the volunteers who guide them follow comprehensive guidelines set up by the state and materials developed over the many years this program has been in place. It pushes the envelope of creativity, and from it the students invent more styles and designs. For these students at Hearthwood and all the other elementary schools, it's how they learn in this program from the art itself that matters, to help them become better students by changing the way they think. Students like 5th grader John Fries get the picture literally and figuratively.
I really like it. I think it's really fun. I like this class because it's helping me draw from picturing it, not with it not really being there. I can just picture it and draw it better.
See? Creative.
Other students feel the same way, that a window is being opened into a new dimension of learning.
Sometimes it teaches me how to draw faces better, how to draw objects better.
I'm one of those kids that just really likes art, like all the colors and designs and stuff. And so art class is just kind of like a break from school. Although I'm in class and whatnot, it's kind of like a break for me.
One of the founders of the Art Discovery Program is Sharon Springer. She started it 20 years ago with the idea of challenging young minds from kindergarten through 5th grade to think about art as a tool, to use it in learning other subjects.
The kids learn all kinds of history and all kinds of things. It's learning exercise, and the finished products are wonderful. They've been coming out great the more the kids learn about these basic elements and principles, but we go through the back door. We concentrate more on overall learning rather than how to draw perfectly or how to paint perfectly, but you can see the progress as they go through the grade levels.
The program has seen tremendous growth. What started in 16 schools is now in every school in the Evergreen District. To this day, Springer is the only paid staff member. The backbone of the program is the more than 360 volunteers who come into the classroom learning about art themselves and teaching where it otherwise would not be offered to the students in the district's elementary schools.
This program opens up the world to adults as well as kids.
Adults like Felton at Hearthwood and Gina Lint at Sifton Elementary.
Found I kind of liked it because I've always liked art as a kid and liked to draw and paint and all that, and I got into drafting and the more commercial end of it and kind of got away from all the artistic. So this is a way that I get to open up and learn more and get to play with the art and then talk to the kids about it and hopefully get them excited about it.
From the very start, Lint and the other volunteers realized this was more than teaching the kids from out of an information packet provided by Springer in the district. The material was just a guideline to a different way of teaching.
One of the things they tell you not to do is not to read the back of the pictures. You know, you read through it, get the information so that you can talk to the kids and not read to them. That makes it more interesting for them and to get them involved in the conversation.
And Lynn says she sees the results.
Their skills progress as you talk to them a little bit more and have them look at, when you look at things, to see the shapes of them, whether they're cylinders or circles, or especially when they draw animals. And if you get them to break it down like that and see it that way, then they can start connecting all the lines and then fill in the detail.
All this non-linear, outside-the-box teaching is having a positive effect from the teacher's perspective.
We have a very great art program, very well thought out. I mean, to teach a lesson that the kids are engaged, they can understand that they can do, and to go back and do it independently, it's great. It's great to see. At this age level, they're not able to compare their artwork to other people and say, oh, you know, yours is better, mine's worse. They take pride in their individual pieces, which is great. when students write stories, they love to have the artwork to go with it. So it's nice to pull on those concepts from, you know, art discovery and to see that start to show up in their work throughout the year.
Well, it makes it more meaningful for the students. So art is so personal that if you're telling kids you have to do it this certain way, then they're not going to want to do it because it's not for them, it's not about what they like. So to teach art where you're saying, okay, here's an example of what we're going to be looking at, what we're going to be focusing on, and then you take it and make it however you want in your own way, the kids just, they thrive on it.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to trace it out first?
You can trace it out, you can freeform cut it.
For each student, the art discovery class is available once or twice a month, but it's not the artwork itself that is key, but the process that leads up to it, the art of learning, where the art itself is proof of that process.
To me, the artwork is fun and play. It's nice that they learn the techniques. They're observing things in other artworks that they're learning and using in their own work. But the quality of artwork wasn't the reason we did this. We wanted to stretch their brains and make them exercise their brains, and that's what we're doing, because art teaches kids how to think. When you know how to think, you'll do better in math, science, social studies, every area. It really is brain push-ups.
I think sometimes when you're just allowed to creatively think, it sort of opens you up to creatively thinking in your own daily life. To realize that not everything is black and white, and not everybody follows the same line. We don't all like the same stuff. It allows them to be individuals.
And to be students with a new perspective on art and the world in which they live, with the help and guidance of many adult volunteers.
By the end of a school year, they will be an expert. I'll see little points of things that we've talked about with the kids and some of the artwork that they've done. I'll see they made a point to emphasize that with the kids because I can see it in every picture that's hanging on that wall. I love this program with all my heart.
It just gives the impression of something real. Okay. Background